I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. We are definitely changing this world one woman at a time. We're changing communities and families and neighborhoods because women are change agents, and this is our time to emerge on the planet. So I get the opportunity to introduce you to amazing women that inspire me and that are doing extraordinary work on the planet. And what's great about these women is that they're examples. They're not exceptions. They're examples of what can happen when you step into the field of infinite possibilities. So today, I get to introduce you to Judith Rudloff. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about her. She's an intuitive energy coach and healer, a certified bioenergetic synchronization technique, BEST, a practitioner, and energy codes master trainer through Mortar Health Alliance and the Mortar Institute. After spending almost 40 years in careers focused on scientific analysis and research, Judith's life was transformed in 2013 when she experienced the powerful healing technology of BEST and healed her own chronic health issues. Judith, welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm really grateful to have you here, and I can't wait to talk all about this. So I just want women to know where you came from. So 40 years in scientific analysis, what did that mean? What did you do?
I was very excellent at analyzing problems using my mind, my mind's ability to synthesize data, to solve problems, to create possibilities in the world of science, to look for new ideas in science, and to basically, it was all processes in my mind because I was really, really good at it. And I knew I was, and I identified myself as that. And I loved every minute of it. I truly enjoyed. I worked on problems with children's blood leads, and I worked on issues around, cleanups and environment and Mother Earth processes. And I loved all that. And yet something was missing in my life.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, that's incredible. So you have an analytical mind. So what called you into this bioenergetic work? I mean, what happened in 2013?
Well, it actually started happening a few years before. There was this idea. I kept thinking something was missing in my life and that something needed to change. I literally wore a hole in the carpet, pacing back and forth, saying something needs to change. And the only things that I knew were the things that my family had told me about what happiness meant. And it's like, well, do I change my husband? No, I really happen to love my husband. Do I change the house? Hey, it's a really pretty nice house. They always can use improvement, but I like it here. Do I change my job? I happen to be really enjoying the job I was in at the time. What do I change? I didn't know what my mind couldn't solve that problem because everything in my past was, I didn't want to change. This idea kept creeping into my mind that I should, and for me, my path was go attend a center for spiritual living. Now, my mind is like, what's that going to do for me? However, after much resistance, I said yes. And I started attending that center. What I couldn't know at the time when I said yes is that I would meet you. And you have been an amazing mentor to me over these past almost, 8 or 9 years that I've known you. I couldn't know that I would end up at a women's retreat where I would hear Dr. Sue Morter talk. And in those moments, things started, I started to hear that there was more to me than this box that I had created, that I lived my life in. A box that said, I can only be happy when, I can only be happy if. A box that said, I have everything everybody else told me I would be happy with, and I'm not happy, was simply an idea that I had created in my own mind, a limit that I put on my life. And when I heard that, and at the time was dealing with a pretty significant painful health challenge, and I had the opportunity, and synchronicity plays such a role in lives. The synchronicity to say yes when I was standing at a counter and heard someone say, is there another session, best session available? And they said one. There's one session available. And the woman said, well, no, I don't want it, and walked away. And I said, I do. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it could possibly do, but I was standing there and I knew there was a reason I was standing there. And by that point, I was starting to trust this intuition, an intuition that I'd lived my whole life, and then that I knew when I was young, but then I had tamped it down because it didn't fit the mold.
Yeah, I totally get that. And Sue Morter, I'm a huge fan of hers as well. But could you talk to us about what is best? I mean, I have had best sessions and they're extraordinary, but a lot of people may not even know what that means. So can you talk about what is best?
Yes, I like to call best the best kept secret because there are a lot of people who have not heard of that. This technique is an energy healing modality. It's a whole body technique, and it works with the natural intelligence of the body. So instead of talking to a person and getting a mind answer, getting an answer that they think I want to hear, or getting a protective answer, I'm simply working with the body and muscle testing and connecting and making connections in the circuitry of the body, which is the central nervous system. And then there's an energy system that surrounds our body, an electromagnetic system, which is our messaging system. And I'm working with that. Now, this technique was developed by a chiropractor. It's been tested. It's been used in clinics all over the world for 50 plus years. And it is a scientifically proven technique. And what it does is as we're going through life, and especially when we're younger, we'll have an experience like, say, running across the road because there's a shiny thing. There's that ball I want to go play with. And mom screams, no, because she doesn't want us crossing the road. Well, our mind doesn't connect the scream with the shiny thing. It connects the scream with that feeling of excitement that we had, that feeling of exploration and discovery. And so the next time we want to go chase after the shiny thing, our subconscious mind says, no, wait a minute, that might get us in trouble. That got us in trouble last time, and we don't want to get in trouble. And those experiences build and build. And 85-90% of our thinking and of our actions and reactions come from those subconscious beliefs. Those things like I'm not good enough. Those things like I don't deserve. The ideas that I'm unlovable or unwanted or I don't belong. Those 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 beliefs just come from the idea that when we're 5 years old, we don't have a lot of tools to process what's going on in our life, and we tend to turn it on ourselves. We tend to think we're the problem.
Yeah, well, totally. I mean, and I can relate to this, and I'm sure people who are listening to this can relate to this. But what I love is that the energy of the body doesn't lie, and that when you connect to that, you get to understand where there's a blockage or what needs to be healed, and the muscle testing, the kinesiology can help. And so what made you want to take this leap to be a best practitioner? Because I mean, it's strenuous.
It was it and a change that the Indiana Jones stepping off the ledge kind of leap for me. Absolutely. Part of it was help from the universe, who said, yeah, it's time for you to move out of this job via a layoff. But in that moment, my old subconscious reaction would have been, oh, my life is ending. What will I do? And instead, because I'd been in this work with Best, I simply went, there's an opportunity. This is an opportunity to step into something new and more fulfilling, because by that point I knew my life was turning into something that was so joyful and so inspiring. I knew that there was something around the corner. I didn't know what it was at that moment, but I joyfully went out to lunch and my friends are like, you just got laid off? What? Aren't you like upset? And I'm like, no, this is an amazing moment, an amazing opportunity. Okay, I had 30 minutes of crying about it, and then I stepped into that. So I was in the process of retooling my life because I wasn't working anymore. And I had signed up. I love doing Dr. Seuss coursework, and I had signed up for several different things. And I guess, no, now isn't the time to spend the money. Now isn't the time to spend the money. And the only thing that I kept and did that year was the best practitioner training. And I went and I did that. And I told my mind, I'm just going to learn the science. That's all. I just want to know the science. And I came back from that training and, well, I might as well get certified. And I start working with people. And they are talking about the sensations that they're feeling in their bodies as I'm working with them. And it's literally a transformational moment for me to say, you know, I'm not doing the work. I'm facilitating the healing because I'm the conduit for this work to open people to know themselves better, to open people to help them release that the old tensions that they felt, the old beliefs that they've been living in, the anxiety, the depression. I work with people who have been, on the verge of being, put in an institution with depression, who, after working in this work, can they have a whole new life. So
Well, I love this, but wait, I want to go back for a minute because this is important. Because something you said resonated with me because I've been there. It was like, here you are in the middle of a big transition. Here you are in something shifting. In your world, you'd been laid off, and in my world, I had kind of stepped out on my own. And it was like the mind is going, this is not the time to invest in something new, but your soul calling is saying, move, go, do this. So talk to us a little bit about that, because you literally were starting over to create a new way of being and new income for yourself.
yes, it was a knowing, and it wasn't my mind. And that's the key, right? The key to moving into something new is to recognize that our minds are built in the patterns of the past. But there was this trust, and I could look back and I could connect the dots. Look how I ended up meeting Cynthia. Look how I ended up meeting Dr. Sue. Look how these puzzle pieces fell into place, where I have made this, and how I've healed myself, and how I've been guided into the perfect, to knowing that what I needed was to listen to my own inner intuition. And it doesn't say go to best, but it actually more was a sense of, you're not going to pull out of that class. It was a sense of, I have to be there. This is what I'm to do next. And it was a knowing, and there was a calm and a peacefulness about it that was so different from any other choice that I'd made in my life. I kind of had to fool my mind a little bit by saying, oh, don't worry, I'm just going to learn the science, because it was nervous about it. And now my mind is in on the gig. It's in on the game. It's like, oh, right. And so I work with it now as I step into this, and I step into speaking, and I step into writing and workshops, all things that I would never have done 10 years ago. I would never have dreamed about it. And that's the beauty of this, working with our energy fields, and getting this greater perspective of life, and these, and reconnecting to my intuition,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so beyond my life now. I only wanted to be happy 10 years ago. I wanted something to change so I could be happy. I am so far beyond that. My life is so much different. I have learned so much, and I experience life in a whole new way, that I trust that still small voice now. I trust that intuition.
Well, that's so beautiful, and it's inspiring, because what I want the listeners to understand is that, there's a part of you that knows what's next, that knows where to go, and if you can learn to listen to it and become obedient, the portal's open. So before I ask you the final question, I want you to tell people, how do they find you so that they can do this work with you?
My website is innerhealingenergy.com. And that's all one word, no spaces or dashes or anything. We all have an inner healer. We have that inner healing power. And my absolute joy is to help connect people to that power. You can go to my website, you can sign up. I have a 30-minute discovery call where we talk about what's going on and how best, and my coaching can help you on your own journey of transformation and awakening.
Beautiful. So here's the last question. I ask the same question of every guest. What do you want women to know about the importance of awakening?
We we are we are conditioned to stay the same. Our minds are conditioned to not want change. And yet each one of us is has that spark in us that says there's more to life. There's more to this. You are here to be a beneficial presence. You are here to be in service to the world. And that shows up in all different ways and examples. And there's no one way to be that beneficial presence. It does require you to say yes. It does require you to just to say yes and to let go of the idea that I have to know what it looks like. Because if we're attached to how it looks, if we're attached to an outcome, then we put limits on it. And it's pulling our past into our present moment. So it is simply trust. It is find the time to nourish yourself, to take care of yourself, to have moments of stillness and peace and quiet, and to get back in touch with that that part of you that knows, that part of you that's there, but that we haven't been told to nurture it. We haven't been told to cultivate it. It's like give yourself time and just say yes and recognize I don't have to know how it looks. I have to know how it feels. I have to know what I want to feel in life. I don't have to know the what. It will unfold.
Incredible. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here, Judith, and thank you for answering the call and stepping out and creating a space to be a healer. I'm very grateful to walk this path with you.
Thank you, Cynthia. It was a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much.
So, ladies, I want you to know that we put up content every week. Come back. There's lots of new people and conversations, and all of them are designed to support you in taking your leaps into faith and power and abundance. I'm grateful to be with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show.